meeting to order. This meeting actually is a Planning and Zoning Advisory Committee that was established by the City Council at Monday night's meeting. The members that are all three members are present. Myself, Karen Sames,
Michael Chris,
and Kim Minke by Zooming is with us. So Kim is with us as well. So that's the three members. So today a little bit more of an organizational. If you see on the agenda, number one is more of an organizational type of a meeting to see where we're going, what we're going to do, and how we're going to do it. So,
and that's what you can see. Kim is here with us.
electronically. Kim's here. All right. So, presiding officer, I guess that's for us to decide who is the presiding officer for this.
if I may, I would be happy to either nominate you or Kim for that position.
Okay.
You guys have the experience, as well as this was also your brainchild to have this committee. So that would be my 2 cents for that.
Okay, don't blame us for this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kim, how do you feel? Not hearing you. Kim had to be out of town because he had a family emergency.
We can't hear you.
There, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear us?
Yes, I did. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm fine either way. So, Karen, if you would like to lead that activity, I'm more than happy to support that.
Okay, well, thank you, Kim. All right, you all make a first, I will accept if you make a first and a second.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we have Karen be our committee chair for this.
I will second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
All right.
Okay, all right. So we need to set up a regular meetings, and that way they won't have to be special called meetings, and we can let the agenda be a little bit more fluid. Are you all good with meeting on Wednesday afternoons at this time?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Okay, so then would you all like to set it up at 3 o'clock then on Wednesday? Or how often, the next question will be, how often will we meet? Do we need to meet weekly for a while to get it kicked off and started? Can you give that much time to it?
I can.
You can?
Yes.
Okay. Michael, can
That'd
you?
be fine for me as well.
With the exception of next week.
That's right, you got a wedding coming up. Okay, all right, okay. So who's got the calendar? So
What's today, the 15th?
yeah, what will be, if we skip
22nd.
next Wednesday, then what's the next Wednesday after that?
29th.
Is that right? 29th, day before Halloween. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll set the meetings up weekly at this time, starting on the 29th until we get to a point that we think we've got what we need to do kind of settled. And is that a proper way to make that?
Yeah. And I would suggest that we start weekly, then move to a bi-weekly.
Okay.
Every other week. That's
Okay.
what I meant by bi-weekly, because it could be either way. And then we can adjust from there, because this is intended to be a quick turnaround, because this is step one of a much larger process.
Yes.
As well. So
I agree with you, and I can see us meeting weekly, maybe for a month.
Yeah.
And then at that point in time, we'll have, after a meeting for a month, then at that point in time, we should have it that we could do it every other week.
yeah, and we could be done by then, given.
Okay, all right, yes.
Can you reiterate, just so everyone in the room can hear?
Okay, I sure can. All right. Kim, they're having a little hard time hearing you, so I'm just gonna repeat kind of what you said.
All right.
So, collectively, we decided to have this weekly, starting on the 29th, because Kim will have to be also out of town next week. And we'll probably meet weekly for about a month on that Wednesday at this time, 3 o'clock. And then, because this committee is supposed to be a committee to kind of get the ball rolling for something bigger later. And so then at that point in time, if we still need to meet, it'll be every other week. All right? Okay. All right. Do we have to put that in a motion? Yes, we have to put that in a
So
motion.
moved.
All right.
So moved.
All right.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor, A? Yes?
Aye. Yes.
Okay. All right, we got it. All right, some of the discussions we've had at the city council, which is why we're here, because we've all brought issues to the table of things that are going on in planning and zoning that have kind of bothered us, or we don't understand. You can say it either which way. So, Tim, I'm gonna let you go first. What are some of the issues that you want us to, that have raised during council meetings that you think we need to either have clarification of, understanding, or look at our ordinance to maybe make a change?
Well, I think the biggest ones in my mind are the ones that are facilitated changes with the House bill activity that goes into effect and needing to update our ordinance so that it's truly reflective of what we intend it to be. So I think that's part of it. The second component of that, in my mind, is just the general overview and review of the ordinances to be able to keep pace with best practices and true facilitation to implement the intent of the updated comprehensive plan. So being able to streamline those things, and so there's different types of amendments that are necessary just to clean up things and to ensure that we're all on the same page of what we mean by what is written there as well.
All right. Okay. Wait a minute, I'm writing it down so I can repeat it. Did you all hear any of that? You did hear that?
Yeah, I got closer.
Okay, I'll try to repeat it. So stop me if I'm repeating it wrong. Okay, so there was a new House bill that was brought up at the state. So what Kim's saying, we need to update our ordinances to reflect the new House bill. A general overview of zoning ordinances so that we are doing what is the best practices and the intent of the comprehensive plan, and then cleaning up some of our ordinances and understanding them. Is that correct, Kim?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we'll turn to Michael.
All right, thank you, Karen. One of the things that I'd like us to eventually address is that we have a handful of things in our planning and zoning, I guess, ordinances that are specific to, say, for example, landscape, buffering landscape, and things along that nature. Last week we had something appear before the Planning Commission which featured at least 2 or 3 different rules and regulations regarding fence height. So without getting too much into the weeds today, we have some rules and regulations that are differing and contradictory, and I think it would be great to streamline most, if not all, of those, so we can have one set of rules and regulations that that builders or developers or most anyone else can work on and use whenever they're proposing new developments. It'll be a little bit less confusing, and it'll also hopefully tighten some of the loopholes that builders could potentially use in order to get their developments approved, depending on the certain aspects of those. So that's one of the things that may be a little bit too specific for us to dive into today or anytime soon, but that is something that I would like to see our committee look at.
Okay, all right. And then for myself, 2 of the things that have really irritated me, to put it mildly, since I've come back on council is pushing the density in Georgetown, which is coming in the form of apartments. So when we do zonings, we're basically doing carte blanche, just a zoning ordinance. And when the development comes in, we're doing a zoning ordinance, and it takes all the zoning ordinances all together and just passes them all. So really, it takes any authority out of the hands of the city council when the problems arise after that. So I'm not sure that there's a way to separate zoning pieces in that or not. So that's something that's going to have to be educational to look into that. The other thing is the traffic. My understanding from one of the meetings that we had with planning and zoning together, that the city council had with them collectively, that the traffic, and you all know traffic is an issue in Georgetown. It's terrible these days, but that they are being judged on the traffic that's currently happening today, not on the traffic that they will generate because of their development later. So I'd like to clean that up, and how we do that, which we were told at the meeting that that was really a state issue, but I think there's a way we can clean that up through an ordinance that maybe that they could say, okay, this is today, but this is the amount of traffic that you're going to generate in the future, and how's that going to play in with what's going on now? Because all of our roads are too small for the developments that are going on. And then the other thing is the variances. We as the council approve it, and then we have a concept that this is what the concept is going to look like that comes to us, and we say, okay, fine, we'll approve it. We think we can handle that. And then there's so many variances given that then the concept plan never looks like what it first came to us or intended to be. So to me, that's a problem that is, I really don't want to get to the point that we take somebody and tighten them in so much that they don't have the right to do with their property what they want to do with, but to take it and it totally doesn't look like what it came to us, I don't think is wrong. It's right. So I think that's wrong what they're doing with that. So those are the three of the items in particular that I'd kind of like to look at through the process. So Michael or Kim, anything else you want to add to that?
Well, I think the other thing that we need to look at along with this is the actual plan itself and the goals and objectives that have been identified, and there's a process identified, but I don't think we've nailed down how that works. And there's areas that the city of Georgetown has the project lead for. And so being able to go through those items, again, going back to the whole point of clarity and uniformity of understanding of what it is we're trying to do and how we're trying to do it, so that it meets the intended purpose. So being able to go through those and make sure that as we look at all these different plans and all the different organizations that have pieces of these plans, that we're all headed down the same pathway to the same true north, and be able to have the product that we all intend to have in Georgetown.
Okay. Did you all hear any of that? Did you hear what you were saying?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I think he's got a computer back there, so he heard you that time. Okay. All right. Michael?
That's pretty much everything that I've got. I agree with you, Kim. I agree with you, Karen. That's really good. I would suggest also today that we discuss a structure for this meeting and future meetings. For example, should we allow public comments at these meetings? And of course we'll follow Robert's Rules of Order and everything along that nature. But I would be in favor of allowing public comments at meetings, just so we can kind of get some more input from the community about these specific issues.
Actually, get down to line item 6, next steps and assignments. I think that's great to add that for in the future, because like I said, it's not on the agenda for today, but to add that to the agenda. Kim, are you okay with that?
Adding the discussion to the agenda.
Public comments. So, because we actually, I don't know if you can see, we actually have a few people here today.
Well, I guess part of what I'm thinking about is this was an interim step in my mind of gathering the thoughts and direction of the council in beginning that next step, which in fact would have all the parties, all the stakeholders involved. So I'm wondering, is public participation in the meeting, I'm not saying no public input, but in the meeting itself, this is, in my mind, our conversation of helping to guide the recommendation back to the full council to decide. But we're bringing all of the information that the public may have into this as well. But I think this step, in my mind, is the first step of getting some consensus with the council itself and taking the input outside of that, not part of this process, but outside of this process, so that we can streamline and go through it. Otherwise, if we had public comment, then we'd probably be eating up most of our time in just public comment and perhaps hearing the same things over and over and over and over again, just in different ways, and not really getting the opportunity to have the conversation, which is what we're trying to have in a public forum. Does that make sense?
It does. All right. When we get down to line item 6, since we got 2 different opinions, we'll go over it when we get down there. How's that? Give us all time to think about it.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. Okay. Review and discussion. We have on here review and discussion action items in the comprehensive plan. So what is there? 11 articles in the comprehensive plan. Is that correct? That you had, yes.
9.
51 implementation.
51 implementation, but 11 articles.
9 elements.
Of the zoning ordinance.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. For clarification.
I could not hear that.
Holden was in the background. He's here with us today too. So Holden was in the background. I've asked him about the comprehensive plan. So the comprehensive plan, we as a body, as this body, have never gone over the comprehensive plan. And I don't know that we necessarily have to go over all the comprehensive plan, but I think we need to understand the comprehensive plan a little bit more, because to be honest with you, I didn't understand that we didn't vote on the comprehensive plan, that we only voted on the goals and the objectives until we had our meeting with them the other day. And I've been around for a long time, on and off. So I did not understand that till then. So I think we need an understanding of the comprehensive plan and what our role as council members are in the comprehensive plan. Not anything particular.
But what was Holden's comment?
On how he was just giving the articles, the 51 implementation, this sheet, the sheet that we got at the council meeting.
Right.
And I don't know why I brought this one. And then how many of those there were, and then what he had said about how many. Would you say it again?
Kim, there are 51 implementation items in the comprehensive plan. There are 7 articles in the zoning ordinance. And then I think where Councilmember Tingle Staines got the number 11 from, there's 12 chapters in the comprehensive plan.
Right.
Write all this down so I'll remember it.
And there's 9 elements within the comprehensive plan, goals and objectives.
Also correct, yes.
Right. Which that we really need a major review over that for the next meeting. We really need to go over the comprehensive plan 2022 for the goals and objectives. We really need to go over those.
Right, because that then feeds into the related chapters of the action items, of which 10 of those we have the project lead for as the city.
Exactly. So that I will put on for the next meeting as item number 6 on that. For that. So anything you want to say today about the comprehensive plan outside of that?
So the one thing that I would also like to just mention is, so as we go through the plan and with those action items in mind, we should be looking at them, in my opinion, as, you know, the first go through is as the project, as we as the city being the project lead, but then a second go through, or at the same time, we're going through because the city is an active stakeholder party in those activities. And again, it goes back to making sure that we're all going down the same path in the same direction, so that the support is there if necessary, as we're making decisions, so that we're not getting cattywampus with everybody else in
Right.
their implementations as well, and vice versa.
All right, got it.
I would be open to using our time, especially at future meetings, to discuss the comprehensive plan like you talked about. I firmly believe that it should be, as it is written, a guide and not a mandate. I have concerns personally about some aspects of the comprehensive plan, but I think through discussion we can address those and talk about those. As far as our stakeholders and our citizens, just like almost everyone, just like the folks here, those of us who were in elected office, I don't recall anybody ever coming to us and saying, we want you to be our city council members because we want someone to go in there and rubber stamp every aspect of the comprehensive plan. I've never had anybody tell me that, and I doubt you guys have either. I'd like to look at it and examine it and discuss it and go from there. I think there are a lot of positive aspects about the plan, and I think it was put together intelligently and by brilliant people who do love the community and care about the community. But we have a lot of people who are concerned about certain aspects of our community becoming more and more prevalent, more and more apartment complexes, and density being, just like you said, a really big problem. So that's something I'd like to address in the future with these meetings.
Okay. That's something, to look at the comprehensive plan, because I can honestly say I've not delved into it until now to even start looking at all of this. So that's why I've got a lot of work to do, but, the comprehensive plan, to understand what's been put in there. And then with the goals and objectives to see what we have supported that's been put in there, because that's how we've supported it, is through that element. But, yeah, I think we need to take a deeper look. I need to get a copy of the comprehensive plan. It's 200 pages or so, and really start looking into it before next Wednesday that we come back to the meeting. So,
Yeah.
all right. I know you both get it online, but you know me, I gotta have it printed in.
So I would just say to those points that you both have made, the comprehensive plan was put together with a steering committee with representation across the community. And so, you know, that was not done in a vacuum. It was done with representation, including city council, fiscal court, and the various organizations that are impacted and are part of the comprehensive plan, as well as the public processes. And having been involved in a number of these comprehensive plans over the years, I think the planning staff this time, I think, tried to do things a little differently to gauge more engagement and get more input. And so the various town halls and information gathering from everyone that would come to and have ongoing, like, tabletop conversations over the course of the evening, I think was a great improvement. And so if there's additional things that were that folks didn't take advantage of that, then by all means, we need to get that information. But there is a process, there was a process, and we need to make sure folks get engaged and stay engaged from across the community, from all aspects. So.
I agree with you on that, and that's one thing that I think sometimes looking at the comprehensive plan, it's so many different elements in the comprehensive plan that sometimes when we now have to execute what we have to execute, sometimes it seems like they don't mesh well together. They kind of set out by each other by themselves. So we have, that's would be our job then, since comprehensive plan comes to us to be voted on the goals and objectives, is to make sure our goals and objectives meet the needs that we have, or what we have to provide and what we have to do. So,
right.
But first of all, the council needs a better understanding as a whole, because like I said, I've been around here forever. And do I understand it completely? No, and that's my fault for not understanding it. But the council as a whole needs to understand it. But as Michael said, it is not a mandate, and I think so many council members had felt that it was a mandate. So, all right, so we'll head on down to the next item and go on down. So thank you, Kim, very much. All right, review and discussion of the zoning code articles. Now, can I ask a question of the audience or not?
Sure.
Well, make sure it's like I can, according to our agenda, make sure, can I do that or not? Tell me what's legal.
Council, what's legal?
The paper is back there. Tell me what's legal.
I think that the way the agenda is written,
That we cannot.
that public engagement component is not on the agenda.
So I
But
can't.
I think if you want to ask a hypothetical that they can think about, and maybe you bring it up at the next meeting.
Okay.
We also don't have rules necessarily for this meeting though, so.
Okay. All right. Because it's because of the proponent keeping straight on which one is which on our articles and our chapters and what our implement our chart is. So what I intended to put on there was a chart. So did I do the right thing on there? The review and the discussion on the zoning code of articles, does that include the chart?
So the chart is actually item, number 4, that's the action.
That
item.
we can go into
That's
that.
the
Okay.
chart.
Okay. All right. So on the chart that we have is the items that we got at the council meeting, the 51 items. Was there anything, Kim, that you wrote that you saw through there that you thought was something that you wanted to jump on quick, or did you have time to look at it?
There are several that I've identified, and you know, the first cut I took was things that the city had project lead for,
Okay.
because of not having a defined action plan yet for that, and to ensure that the council is in concert with administration and implementation. So I think that's part of it. There are several items on here that are already in process, and in some cases are near completion, like broadband and things like that, because this is a document that was put together over the course of over a year plus. And so there's been a lot of activity. So I think, we can kind of sort and sift through that as well. But I think it's a good action item for the next meeting to prioritize areas that we need to beef up. One of the areas that I'll just throw out, and it's one that, because of this document, that was one of the things that I took on as a challenge in my mind, is we have historic, under heritage, we have the historic identifications, but we really don't have the teeth to make sure that things happen the way maybe that we want them to happen. There's a lot of latitude, Michael, to your point of, flexibility with owners and contractors to do, kind of what they want to do. And so is there a standard that we want to hold folks to from a a heritage historical preservation perspective so that we maintain that history that we have in Georgetown, Scott County. So that's in my mind, that's a good example of we need to beef up the ordinance to be able to put those measures in place.
I agree with you, Kim. That's a great idea. Another point to this point about zoning code articles, I know Holden, I guess a few days ago at a meeting that we had with the Planning Commission, you had kind of intimated that maybe we might have, with some of the zoning, we might have maybe a little bit too much of classifications. You know, I don't know if that's exactly what you said, but say, for instance, when you've got R1, R2, and all these different ones, did it sound like it could maybe use a little bit of tweaking and modernization to maybe tighten those and get a little bit less classifications, if that would help the process? If I imagine that, then forget I mentioned that. But did you bring that up? You don't recall?
Well, I want to be clear, that speaking as back to the body now, not as member of the public, the other one, and that issue.
Okay.
Is that okay? I genuinely don't want to.
Yeah, I'd like to add something to that, and it's kind of one of those, could be a next meeting topic, but honestly, Emily and I, and then Sarah hopefully we don't need technology in the future,
Yeah.
but we kind of accommodated the meeting, but obviously it is a
Yes.
council committee, but
Yes.
you all went as to what kind of staff support you might need in terms of bringing resources for you all, being able to provide, obviously, planning and zoning staff has, you all are driving the policy discussion, but they have that historical knowledge. So just you all determining as a committee what kind of staff support you want would be helpful moving forward and kind of mitigate that public staff question. And you can do what you want in terms of the public comment component, obviously, but
If that's okay, I'll withdraw that question and not to put anybody on the spot or create any issues. But one of those things would be if that's helpful to planning and zoning and helpful to the community, that would be something that we should entertain discussing and looking into. So that would be one of many different goals I think would be nice for this.
Like I said, this is the first meeting. We're just trying to get some feet under us to figure out what we're going to do and how we're going to do this and meet. And the more we meet, the more secure we'll get on what we're doing and who we need. And it will start to develop the serious questions that we're asking and start asking the right people. So Holden just happened to show up today. So since he happened to show up, we're eager to ask him stuff. So maybe we'll invite you the next time to come officially with it. But one of the things on this is that we could easily, or we need to seriously start taking a look at, because we've been talking about wanting to do affordable housing, which is an oxymoron in Georgetown, but wanting to do affordable housing. So one of the things that's on this list that I think would be kind of low hanging fruit that maybe we could start taking a look at would be, this is vacant properties. So I don't know for sure what's going on with that now. I know code enforcement is stepping up what they're doing, but I know several years ago that we did take some vacant properties that basically the owners didn't live here anymore. Their family used to be here. They were gone. They were out of state, and take that and start filling in. And that could be a way to do affordable housing, which fits into this sheet of things that is wanted to do on the comprehensive plan. So that's one that I think we could take a quick look at, maybe our next meeting, take a quick look at that, and then us have more time to look a little bit further onto any of the other ones and highlight what we think we want to do. So any more comments on that?
I think that's a great idea.
So Karen, I just want to make sure I understood
Sure.
and I grasp what you were saying.
Uh-huh.
So basically you're talking about an inventory of vacant, okay, yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Okay, perfect. All right, we'll do that next time, and we'll have 2 weeks in between, and so we'll have a little time to do it. Okay, so I think that actually takes us down to 6. We're kind of limited on time because we have to turn the room over today anyway. So on our next steps for the meeting, So I think we've got a few good things going on. So we need to look at the goals and objectives for sure, because that's what the council can vote on. And if you all can review it, if you all can have time to review it between now and then we can go through it and actually take a good hard look at it. Because I think there's one thing, like I said for myself, I really hadn't looked at it, and I glanced through it actually this morning and looked through it, and there's some questions that came up when we were talking about property, annexing it in or not annexing or zoning, that maybe that property would not have fit the goals and objectives. So I think we would need to take a look at those for the next meeting. And then Michael had made the comment, little difference of opinion on public comments. Personally, I think maybe we should, because I'm actually happy that we've got some people here that's come. Kim, one person said in particular, they didn't know what the meeting was about. They came, but probably what we're talking about is not what they were looking for. But nevertheless, maybe if we can just even cut it really short, not even as long as a council meeting, and kind of compromise here and just give everybody maybe a minute, they can say something, and then that way it'll keep it, unless we end up having 100 people show up. But if we have a small crowd, then maybe we can give everybody at least a minute to say something. You think that would work for a compromise for you? And they can do it at the start of the meeting, and then we can go on with the meeting.
What about just providing written
Comments?
information?
Hold on just one second. Go ahead.
I think you can absolutely allow for written comments. I think the key would just be creating a deadline before the meeting to receive, so that you can receive those comments and have time to review them and distribute them to the body before the next meeting. So whether it's noon, the day before, whatever you like, we can do that. And we can probably, I don't want to speak out of turn, but from staff level, probably explore solutions to, is that via email? Is that a form? I don't know what that looks like, but we can establish that.
The other comment that I would have there is the expectation an answer or a response to the comment, or is it, as is in the city council public comment section, where it's we take that information as good community input and take it under advisement and potential action?
I would say take the information, not comment on the information, because that is where it will get drawn out. Take the information, and then if it's something that we can or need to respond to at the next meeting, then we can put it on an agenda item and respond to it at the next meeting.
But I guess the one question I would have there is, this is a subcommittee of the council of which we really don't have any authority to
Right.
make a decision. We're making recommendations back to the full council.
You know, personal,
And-
this is personal. I like having public comments just because.
Can you hold on one second?
Yeah, sure.
I think we may be frozen. Sorry.
Are we frozen?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we're frozen, not him. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm not
stop the meeting.
I'm not discounting public comments as much as I'm just trying to ensure we have the right process and we get them and take them under advisement at the right time.
Yeah, the screen's frozen, so he can't hear us, but we're gonna stop the meeting for a second.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear us?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
hear you. The screen is just frozen.
The screen is frozen?
Yeah.
Okay. Give us 1 second. Mr. Kelsey, can you still hear us? I just want to make sure.
I can. It is frozen on Mr. Kim. It may be an input thing.
Okay, we'll just hold tight just for new technology. Just hold on 1 second, please. Okay. Can you hear, this is Emily, can you hear me through this lane,
Yes, I can.
Okay, we are experiencing some technical difficulties. So while I think the streaming's been interrupted, so I think we probably just need to adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
So if you can
Okay.
if you can hear us, there's a video technical glitch, so we're gonna stop the meeting.
Okay,
And
so Kim, we are going to adjourn the meeting and we will be back on the 29th, 3 o'clock, same place, same location. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Hi.
Got it. All right. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you all.